Hello everyone, welcome to week 3. I hope that your week is going well. For those of you that were able to have the day off for Labor Day, hope you enjoyed it. For those of you that didn't, hope that you're going back to school after this and it's a great week. So we've hit the first 2 weeks, talked about Jefferson influence on education as well as the early forefathers and the development of schools in the U.S. Week 2, how to start looking at progressively changes, and we're hitting week 3 where we're going to continue to talk about those changes. Horace Mann was week 2 in developing schools, almost a superintendent, and standards and expectations for teachers. Week 3 is talking about different styles of education, and we're going to get into progressivism with Dewey and others having an influence on what education should be. So your reading this week is going to be looking at Dewey and then getting into the aspect of races. I'm going to ask you to read the chapter on African Americans. So I need to clarify really quick on our weekly reading. I'm going to pull up the syllabus. There was a change. You'll notice here, it originally said Chapter 4, Social Diversity and Differentiated Schooling, and then Chapter, the Progressive Era, and then Chapter 7 originally, but I've switched it to Chapter 6 because that is more appropriate. I'm sorry, the syllabus isn't directly created by me, but the focus, again, is all on African Americans with Booker T. Washington and Du Bois, so I want to make sure that you're getting that reading done as assignments are expected to that. So if you've read Chapter 7, hip hip hooray for you, but it's really Chapter 6 that you need to read. So Chapters 4 and Chapter 6 are the appropriate things. Our discussion board conversation for the week is looking at, again, John Dewey and progressivism. I'm asking you to look at Education and the Social Change, which is a primary reading source in the text, page 117 to 122. And again, asking the question, what do you believe schools should accomplish in terms of achieving social change? What do you believe is possible for schools to accomplish? I want you to compare and contrast your point of view. And then again, remember that citing and being able to cite it appropriately in your discussion board original post. And then your reflection is reflecting on 2 others in their post. And again, not a simple, oh, I agree or disagree, but again, giving your reasoning for the agreeing or disagreeing. Please remember that your original post should be in by Thursday and your responses should be in by the end of Sunday of the week. So just that reminder for you. So we've talked about the reading, we've talked about the discussion board, so I want to get into the assignments. There are 2 different assignments. The first assignment that I want to get into is not the group discussion, but looking at assignment number 4. It's the Du Bois and Washington graphic organizer. This one is really just having you look at creating either a Venn diagram or some kind of organizer where you're going to give some contrasting pieces to Washington and Du Bois, looking for 8 different elements for each of them, and then giving 3 how they compare, what's similar about them as well. So you'll want to get into your reading. I will point out what I've pulled up here is the assignment number 4 support page, and it's got some great websites to give you further information on each of them as a resource. So here's a view of what you can look at. Here's one style of graphic organizer that's done in Google just on Docs, and then here's a Google slide. Your choice again, but again, citing where you get your information from. Now, the other assignment that's due this week is a 1.5 to 2 page document on Dewey, John Dewey, and a biography on him, giving me a little background on him as well as your view on how he's the progressive movement that he was a part of or headed up, how that's influenced education today or your classroom specifically. So again, a reflection piece. So you've got 2 base assignments for this week of the compare contrast in an graphic organizer, and then this reflection piece here. So those are the 2 primary assignments that are due by this Sunday. And then this week you'll notice in Blackboard that it talks about starting to look at assignment number 7. So I just want to speak on that a little bit because that is an important assignment. It's the Common Core State Standards mini literature review. So the goal here for this assignment is to have you start practicing the idea of a literature review where you're going to, again, look at answering the question, what impact does the Common Core State Standards had on education? This lit review is not a reflection. It should not be an opinion piece, but you're going to do a review of literature going into Concordia's library and Eric, whatever search engine you're going to use to find professional journals that are going to give a point of view, and you are going to do a write-up. It's about 5 pages. Minimum works that you need to cite in there are 5 as well, so think of 5 and 5. But this is where you're going to write information. Again, not an opinion, but the direct information of what the researchers have stated. So this, again, is not due until week 7, but I just want to put it out there that you might want to start doing that research now, as you're going to have to cipher through the professional journals, articles from the professional journals to get that information. This, in essence, is giving you practice for when you hit your 580 class, the Action Research class, because Chapter 2 of your Action Research is about the literature review. So we want to start getting that practice into that. Not supporting a direct opinion, but pulling out what the researcher says to answer a question. So you'll see more on that. So again, not due this week, but something to get into. And then by the end of this week, I should have groups up in a Blackboard that you've shared with me so that we can start being ready to post your presentations on your issues, and I will be getting back to everybody this week. I hope that you have a great week, and if you have any questions, as always, call, text, email, and I will talk to you later. God bless you all.